if it's the one that I'm specifically thinking of, she bought it sight unseen from the listing agent, was told it had great bones, needed some cosmetic work, and when she showed up, the house was completely rat infested. It was an absolute mess. It had been, occupied by squatters for a couple of years. Now, when she showed up, she said she wouldn't even step foot into the house. She was just completely disgusted by the condition of the home, and it was really clear right away that it needed more than just lipstick, more than paint and and tile work.
Hey, it's Sandra Pike from Royal Page Atlantic and the Pike Group. And today I have one of my colleagues here at Royal Page, and I'll let you take it away and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jessica Plawondon with Royal Page Atlantic and the Pike Group.
Well, and that's not why you're here.
No, I know.
I just think that we've had a couple of interesting scenarios, I would say, in the past 8 months selling real estate. And the topic that I want to go over today is, should you use the listing agent when you are purchasing, when you're purchasing a property? So a few months ago, Jess, you would have sold a house, and talk to me about that scenario and what went down.
So, yeah, honestly, I think a lot of agents are probably experiencing something similar right now because the market was so wild in 2020 that buyers were panicking to get out of major cities, i.e. Toronto, and get into Nova Scotia. So I think a lot of people made a lot of choices then that they wouldn't make looking back in hindsight is 2020.
Mhm.
Um, I personally helped a few people who over the pandemic purchased sight unseen and then had some regrets when they got to see the house, whether they purchased direct from the agent.
Mhm.
Either way, they really didn't have an agency relationship, and they showed up at the house and were completely, taken aback by what they had just purchased, and lock, stock, and barrel, it was theirs on closing day.
Yeah. So the one of the houses that you would have sold, talk to me about what went down during when she was purchasing the property.
There's been a few, but if it's the one that I'm specifically thinking of, she bought it sight unseen from the listing agent, was told it had great bones, needed some cosmetic work, and when she showed up, the house was completely rat infested. It was an absolute mess. It had been, occupied by squatters for a couple of years. Now, when she showed up, she said she wouldn't even step foot into the house. She was just completely disgusted by the condition of the home, and it was really clear right away that it needed more than just lipstick, more than paint and and tile work. So she didn't even move into it. She basically lived in a tent out in the carport because she wouldn't go in. It was so filthy, and she gutted it. She took it right down to the studs. So definitely needed more than lipstick.
You talked about purchasing virtually. Did she not go through, I mean, was there a Matterport or an iGuide that was done for the property?
No, it was listed exclusively. So when a property isn't as you know, when it's exclusive, it doesn't go on MLS. There was no photos, there was no nothing. It was basically just an exclusive contract.
So did she have the agent virtually walk her through the house? Let's say if they connected on WhatsApp or Messenger or FaceTime.
Not to my knowledge, because she would have seen the condition of the home. Yeah.
So so to get this straight, she took the word of the agent that it had good bones and it just needed some cosmetic updating.
Yep. Yep.
And she came here and you just explained what had happened. So when you went to go sell the house, I know that we pre-inspect our homes when we sell.
Yep.
Talk to me how that went down.
Honestly, the pre-inspection went great because our pre-inspections are everything on the interior of the house. And she had
Mhm.
done such a great job renovating it. Once she took it down to the studs, it was a blank canvas. And I will tell you, this woman is absolutely meticulous. So she did an incredible job. She was, she had experience renovating properties before. So she knew what she was doing, which was really wonderful. There was a couple minor things that came up from the pre-inspection. but all in all, that was fantastic. But what wasn't fantastic was the septic needed some work. Right. So we don't pre-inspect the septic tanks or fields. And it turned out that the septic field was completely shot.
So she didn't inspect the property. She didn't see it.
Yeah.
And she didn't inspect, and she didn't do like a septic or a water testing
No,
either.
nothing. She didn't test when she purchased the house, for her own peace of mind, she tested the water and the water was absolutely fine. That luckily that part of the city had really great water. So that was really just a fluke. She did end up installing a treatment system just for her own peace of mind. I know a lot of people when they come to the country from city living, it can be challenging to to trust your well without a system in place. So she did put that in for peace of mind. The septic, she did replace the septic tank by her own choosing, but she didn't replace the field. So a contractor came out, told her, this is just so embarrassing. The contractor literally stuck his hand in the dirt and smelled his hand and said, "Smells good to me."
Wow.
It's completely offensive. I was like, well, that's not really how we test a septic system, is it? So by smelling the dirt. And that's what he said. He said, no, it's fine.
Wow. So, in general, if someone, came to you, you know what, I'm just going to use the listing agent to buy a resale house, what would you say to them?
Why? It's not doing you any favors. I know why people do it. They think that they're going to, their offer is going to look better, that there'll be less commissions to pay. But I think that's just a misunderstanding. They don't understand that both commissions, the buyers and the selling commission, goes to the listing agent. And the only person that benefits from that is the listing agent, not the buyer, right? The buyer is actually giving up their agency, they're giving up their advocate, they're giving up their professional. They will not have anybody looking out for them in this transaction.
Yeah.
Why
Now,
would you do that for
yeah,
nothing?
no, I agree with you. Now, I don't think truthfully that we should be allowed to double in, and I always struggle, when I'm in that situation. Now, when it comes to new construction, typically a buyer agent usually just drops them off to us and we take care of their clients. So I don't mind new construction, but I think resale, for sure, that you definitely need your own, your own representation. So, here she's been in the house now and all those things happen. She doesn't have a leg to stand on it. Can she go after the realtor, or, what's her
Well, the
plan now?
realtor unfortunately advised her not to have an inspection. I mean, I wasn't there, I didn't see the text messages, but from what I can kind of summarize from the conversation was why it'll just fail the inspection. And, inspections aren't for passing or failing, they're really how to maintain your investment, or in a situation like this, cover your ass and
Yeah,
know what you're getting yourself into before you make that, three, four, five, six, $700,000 purchase. Just know what you're dealing with. And
absolutely.
in this situation, when the realtor advised her not to have a home inspection for any reason, I don't think that was right.
No, I agree with you. So let's go back to, okay, so we know that we both feel that buyers should have their own representation. I get
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about purchasing virtually, because that is still happening because of low inventory here. What
Yeah. Mhm.
types of things should a buyer, and their agent be doing together? Is it just looking at the pictures? Is it just looking at the virtual walkthrough? Talk to me about that, how you would work with a client virtually.
Oh, honestly, I've done a lot of deals during the pandemic, so I got quite comfortable with virtual showings. It's pretty simple, you show up with your phone, hopefully fully charged. You don't want it to die in the middle of of a viewing, and you really got to be looking through every single cupboard, underneath the sink, doing the sniff test. What do you like? They can see the photos, but what are you actually feeling when you're in the house? Can you smell things? Can you see things? You need to be looking not just at the lipstick, not just at the finishings. And as realtors, we're trained to look beyond the staging and to actually look for what's behind all the pretty pictures. And I think it can be done really well, to be honest. I mean, I have clients that I helped purchase during the pandemic that still speak to me, and in fact
Yep.
have used me since then. So I know it can be done, but you just have to really be advocating for your client in this purchase.
And, I always like to say, would you live here yourself, right?
Yeah.
And, or apart from that, if the client's life changed, that house that you're helping them purchase, would you put your name behind it to sell it?
Mhm. Well,
Would
that's
it
right.
be marketable? I mean, that's so important. And, one thing that you yet mentioned is not just about the property, it's also about the lay of the land and what's on the outside of the house too. So I know the risk of purchasing virtually. It's totally scary. But you're so right. You do need someone who is in your back and is not afraid to tell you no, if they don't think that's the right property for them.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Because
great
they
point.
might come back in 3 years and ask you to sell it again. And if you if you didn't like helping them buy it, you're not going to like selling it for them.
No, I agree with you so much. So Jess, I won't take up much of your time today, but I think it's so important that, if you are using the listing agent, if you are buying virtually, either scenario, or if the scenarios are combined, like it is buyer beware at that point in time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Her only recourse at this stage is to go after him in small claims court, unfortunately. But that's, time or money. And it's, at the end of the day, it's not my decision to make. It's hers, whether she wants to
Mhm.
pursue it or not. But I think at the end, she was really just more kicking herself for not having those inspections, because she, in her own words, she knew better.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and you can never say told you so, but it's if you feel a skunk, or if you feel that something, that's out of place, it's either a skunk or it's out of place, and follow your gut.
That's right. That's right. You got to follow your gut. And I mean, I think maybe she was looking to do some renovations, but I don't think she was expecting to walk into a rat infested
Mm,
squatter's dwelling. Like, that was
what a
way more
shame.
than she was expecting. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Jess, for your time today. And if people wanted to get in touch with you,
Oh, I'm at 902-999-2667.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.